The paper reports that two of the male prostitutes were given a late-night tour of the White House last year.
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers.
I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Hi, everybody. My name is Nick Bryant, and welcome to the Nick Bryant Podcast. Today, my guest is Epstein survivor Juliette Bryant. How are you doing today, Juliette?
Hi, Nick. I'm very well, thanks. And you?
Juliette wrote a very interesting book, which we will eventually discuss. It's called Epstein, the Dragon, the Apple, and the Butterfly, about her spiritual journey to understand the evil that is Epstein. And Juliette, you first met Epstein in Cape Town, South Africa. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that was in 2002, so it was 20 years ago. I just turned 20 and I was out with a friend of mine, and a girl approached us and asked if I was a model, and then she said that her friend Jeffrey Epstein was here with Bill Clinton and Kevin Spacey and Chris Tucker, and he owned Victoria's Secret, and he had his own island in the Caribbean. He was like the king of America, and I'd never met anyone from any celebrities before or anything, and I was just like, I was so excited. I thought this is an amazing dream come true. So we went off to meet them at a restaurant nearby in Cape Town. They were all having dinner and they all stood up to shake our hands. I think they were with like government people from South Africa. It looked like we weren't introduced to the South Africans, but we were introduced to Bill Clinton, Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, and Jeffrey Epstein. And then we left there, and then the girl Naja Hill, she's a Fox News reporter now apparently. She messaged me and she said that Epstein really liked me and wanted to see my modeling portfolio, and would I bring it the next day to show him at the hotel they were staying at. And then she also invited me to go watch Clinton's speech. So I said, of course, yeah, I'd love to come. So, I went along and we went to the speech in the combis, like a combi, sorry, South African word combi, like a taxi, a minibus. They had like minibuses, and there was security all around. I was sitting next to Clinton's speechwriter when we were on our way to the speech. There was just security everywhere. The whole highway had been closed off. I'd never seen anything like it in my life. And then Clinton gave his speech about AIDS, but I don't really remember it being very moving or him saying really very much. Kevin Spacey was sitting in front of me and was filming everyone in the hall on his handheld device. There were a lot of children, like young teenagers, not children, but young teenagers and young people there from lower income households. And I couldn't understand why Kevin Spacey was filming the whole thing. He was filming Clinton speaking, and then he kept filming, going back like this, like was filming all the way around the hall. Obviously at the time I had no idea why, but obviously years later I've come to realize possibilities for why he would have done that. So yeah, then after the speech, sorry, the whole thing's very upsetting actually. But then after the speech, we went back to the hotel, and then Epstein wanted me to show him my modeling portfolio. So I got it from my car, and I went in, and there was a panel of 3 women looking at my modeling book. There was no other models there, which was weird, but it just seemed so legitimate considering who he was with. So when I walked in, the 3 girls were looking at my modeling portfolio. It was Sarah Kellen and Andrea Metrovich and another girl, Cindy Lopez. And while they were looking at my modeling book, Bill Clinton walked past me and said, "Hi, guys," and walked through to another adjoining room, which must have been his suite, and it was so weird because when he walked in that room, I smelled this very, very weird smell come out. I've only smelled that twice, once there and once at the governor of New Mexico's mansion. It was a smell of like feces and urine, but like not. And a friend of mine said, "Juliette, that might have been dead bodies, the smell I was smelling." But I don't know what it was, I smelled it, and I've never smelled anything like that before.
Could it
So
been
then-
your sense of smell reacting to it? You didn't know that you were in a really toxic environment, and could it be your sense of smell intuiting
I've
that?
been, I've been, I've been in other toxic environments, but I've never smelled that smell. I've only smelled that smell twice, once there and once at the governor of New Mexico's mansion.
Hmm.
Only two times I've ever smelled it. And it's a smell I can't really explain because it's a smell I've never been not used to. But
And
I smelled,
go ahead. Sorry.
and I just thought, oh, okay, maybe something happened and there's a bit of a mess there. I don't know. I like, I was young, I was naive, but looking back, I'm 40 now. I was 20 then, and I've only ever smelled that smell twice. And it was once there and once at the governor of New Mexico's mansion. I don't know what it was. But anyway, that didn't trigger danger for me because I just didn't really realize what it was. So anyway, the girls looked at my modeling book and then they said to go through and see Epstein. So I went through and I sat with Epstein and he looked at my modeling book and he said, you'd be perfect for Victoria's Secret. You've got a stunning figure. And they said they're going to arrange me to come over. So after that, they left. They were only there for about 2 days. And then his assistant, Leslie Groff, started phoning and arranging my flights and my visa and telling me where I'd be staying. I've got it all written in my diary from 2002. Which is another weird thing is the blue butterfly symbol. We'll get to that later. But yeah, they arranged all my, everything. So yeah, it's all written in my diary, and I had to send that to the lawyers and everything so they could see it was authentic, which it is. And then, so I thought I was going over there to model. And I was very excited. My mum wanted to speak to Epstein to make sure I'd be safe. And he assured her I would not only be safe, but it would be like a life-changing opportunity for me. So, my mum thought it sounded okay. Like, he was with Bill Clinton and all these celebrities. So one wouldn't have thought it was dangerous. Anyway, so I got on the plane. They arranged my visa and my flight. 2 weeks after meeting them, I was on the plane on my way to New York. So then I arrived at the apartment that they'd arranged for me, 301 East 66th Street. And when I walked in, I put my things down and I was looking out at New York and I was just like, wow, it's so amazing here. Just like, coming from Africa, it was just very, very, it was quite difficult to take in actually. That I'd never traveled overseas and it was my first time being away from my family. It was quite a shock to be in a place like New York. But anyway, then the phone rang and Sarah Kellen was on the line and she said, pack your things, we're going to the Caribbean. So I assumed it was like for a modeling shoot or something. I didn't really know. I had barely slept on the 24-hour flight. I was so tired. And they told me I didn't need to bring money with me. I didn't have much money anyway. If I needed to bring money for things, I wouldn't have been able to go. But they said, no, I don't need money. Everything will be deducted from the modeling pay. And I didn't have my phone working there because, you couldn't just get phones roaming in 2002 the same way you can today. So I didn't, really know what to do. So it seemed like it was so legitimate. And then suddenly I was being told I was flying off to the Caribbean. So I had a shower and packed a few things in a small bag and then got in the taxi or the car that they sent, the black car. And then they drove me to, I think it was Teterboro Airport. And then I got on the airplane and Epstein was sitting there on the front on the right. And then Sarah Kellen and the other girl, Andrei Mitrovic, were on the left. And then Epstein went like this, like dunk, dunk, tapped on the seat next to him, like, come sit next to me. So I just walked on and I didn't really know what to do. I was, kind of shocked. And I sat next to him and then basically the plane took off, and then as soon as the plane took off, he put his hand in between my legs and started touching me very like hard and rough. And I just got terrified and I literally thought I was going to die. I thought my parents are never going to see me again. My brother's never going to see me again. I just felt terrible. It was the biggest shock I've ever been in, actually, going through that. And
your dream had suddenly become a nightmare.
Yeah, I realized that I had to do what they said, otherwise they would very likely kill me.